What's good? What's good? What's good? You hear me? What's good? What's good? Ah, what's good? How everybody doing? How everybody doing? What's good? What's good? What's good, family? How everybody doing? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Y'all know, man. Y'all know what we doing here, man. I just like to keep that on. What's good? What's good, Drewski? What's good, y'all? How we doing? Let's get it, man. How everybody doing today? Y'all already know we about to, tap into this book club. Y'all already know, right? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? I DM'd on IG by mistake. Ignore that. I ain't check it out. All right. It's all good. It's all good. You won't be the first. You won't be the last. You heard me? How we doing? We gonna let everybody get in, man. How everybody doing today? How everybody doing today? Peace, King. What's good? I see you. I see you. How everybody doing today? Oh man, I kind of took a nap, man. Um, how everybody doing? What's good, King? Y'all, man, y'all already know, man. I can't complain at all. I can't complain, man. It's love, man. You know. Y'all know. So let me ask y'all. Y'all reading? Y'all on it? Listen. We on chapters 1 through 3, man. We on it right now. Y'all reading? Are y'all? I want y'all to know something too. Are y'all reading the book? Or y'all just waiting for me to come on here and uh? Are y'all reading the book? Or y'all just waiting for me to come on here and tell y'all what's going on in the book? Yeah, man. Read the book, man. Read the book. That way we can politic. Loving the book for sure. Listen, I read this book a while back, man, and I thought about what was going on right now. I was like, man, this would be a perfect book for us to jump on. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask y'all a question too. How y'all feel about me creating the group on IG? It's just for us. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feel about that? Like me creating a Trappers Anonymous group on the Instagram page. How y'all feel about that? And all I'll probably do is, repeat the whatever the post is on Facebook, I'll put it on Instagram too. How y'all feel about that? Let me just ask y'all that question right quick. It's something I kind of been thinking about for a minute. Just let me know how y'all feel about that. I almost kept going to the next chapter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, it's a good one, right? Right? Now, I thought about, cause I always try to it's all right. I thought about, I try to, I've read so many books. It's hard not to finish it up real spill. Look, y'all can keep going. Y'all can keep going. Look, you ain't gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna move it like that. But y'all can keep going. Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about just having it'll be the same information. But what I'm thinking about is sometimes they don't let us do it on here, but like on IG when we do the classes and when I do the book clubs, I can bring y'all in and we can have the conversation instead of me just always talking, right? So I'll create a page. I'll create a page on IG that's just for us. Um, I'll see how I have to work it out. You know what I'm saying? I'll see how we work it out just to see, cause I'm thinking about the dialect and us being able to go back and forth. I don't want to always just be the one talking. I want to be able to correspond with y'all, right? I don't want y'all always to have to type the questions in and all that. Uh, Let me see in place of on this group or not, just an additive, just an additive. Like everything I'll post in a regular Facebook, I'll post it in the group. But the IG would be more so for us to have um these clubs, these meetings and stuff. They'll be in a group, and then what I can do is get my team to take the actual live from the IG page and post it in the Facebook. It'll be a little more work on my part, but it's cool. I'm kind of just want to see how y'all feel about it. Yeah, I just want to see how y'all feel about it. Um, just want to see how y'all feel about that. All right, cool. So I may put that in the works. We'll see how that go. I'm not gonna promise it. I don't want to overwork my team. I started adding people to the team to help me do a few things on the back end as far as um, mailing out emails and stuff like that. So just something we thinking about, man. Um, so let's talk about some things, man. So let me see something. Let's talk about. Okay. But let's talk about some things. So everybody into the book. Y'all liking the book so far? With me, when I put us on books, my goal is to make the books be intentional to what we going on. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Every book we read isn't going to be an actual stock book either, right? It may be a stock book. It may be a financial book. It may be a book dealing with mindset. It may, I want us to be well versed, right? Because there's a lot of things that comes about investing that's outside of the stock market, right? So I want to see that. Also, how y'all feeling about the worksheets? I added the worksheets to the group. I think that I liked it. I love that idea. What it did was I had the mindset of the worksheets now. You can take the worksheet when I put it in a group, you can press it, save it to your phone, and you can print it out, and then you have that worksheet now. You can print it as many times as you want, and you can use it as many times as you want, right? Peace, family, how you doing? So I definitely thought the the worksheets were a great additive to the group. Just want to see how y'all loving those and how y'all like those. For me, it's just about continuously adding value to y'all. I'm gonna be real. I love the group. I love the group. Y'all might not think I be looking at it, but I look at everybody posts. I like comments because I like to see y'all growing. I see a lot of y'all growing. I know some people when y'all first started, how y'all was kind of lost, and now I look at some of you all and y'all helping other people out. Y'all answering questions. I like that because that's what I wanted the group to be about. I wanted it to be about like-minded people. I didn't see the worksheet, so you'll probably have to just scroll through them. Just scroll through some of the posts. I only did like 3 of them so far. You'll see it'll be a picture of something and it'll be a worksheet. You'll just scroll down, you will see it. You might can type in worksheet and it'll come up. Yes, the actual shirts are coming. Let me show you. I want to show y'all that too. I just got my email from my guy. Y'all might can't see it, but y'all might can see it right here. It got the TM on it. And then I actually have another one. We had a gold one as well. Let me see. You might can see it, the gold one. Right, with the TM on it. And then I came up with another one that we had been playing around with for a little while. It kind of looks like this. It says, "In the trap we trust." And then it says, "Certified Wallstreet Trapper." So, yeah, they got the TM on it. Yeah. And we got it in the gold too. Let's see. So it says, "In the trap we trust." All right. It says, "In the trap we trust" around the top, and then it has the certified Wall Street Trapper, but y'all can see it, instead of the 8, it has a TrapHouse on it. All right. So yeah, I've been waiting for the TM for a while. I ain't gonna lie. That's what we've been waiting on. So yeah, we're gonna definitely put that in motion, and I'm gonna definitely, give y'all access to them first before I even put them on the market. Or I may take in the ones that have, I don't know. We still work. Because y'all in the group, I may give y'all access to the gold ones. Like y'all can buy the gold ones. So we'll just work on that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been waiting on the TM for a while. I ain't gonna lie. Man, that's a big mission for me, man, because it let me know that, and one of the things I want to we're going to get into the book, man, but one of the things that's really important, man, I want us to know that, man, like the destination, right? The destination to where we going is so dope, but the journey, right? The journey is where we are refined, a defined journey, because it's the experiences that are more valuable than the wins. You feel me? The experiences are more valuable than the wins because the experiences teach you a lot about yourself. And just people always want to know like why I'm smiling, why I'm doing this, and sometimes I have to take breaks because I know how far I came. One of my brothers up in here, Jerome Jackson, he in here, man. I've been my brother since I was in the penitentiary. We was 18 years old in the pen together, sleeping on side of each other, working out. He's stocky, so we used to work. I used to be putting all that goddamn weight on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't want to hear that shit free. Lift that shit. You know what I'm saying? And pushing each other to go hard. And now we been home. I came home in '07, so he came home around that same time, and we still close. And he not even from New Orleans. He from Lafayette. You know what I'm saying? But he's still a good brother to me. And when I see him in a group, and he paid for it, that's the thing. He called me. He said, "Free, I need to get this knowledge you got, bro, and I don't want you to give me nothing." He was like, "I remember you being in the pen watching that shit and nobody understand that shit. I remember you reading all them books and shit and nobody understand that shit." But me and him used to do a lot of betting on games and shit when I used to run numbers in the pen. And he used to be with me all the time. And he was, and it makes me proud. I got another brother in here too. His name Murphy Blue. He was like, "Bro, I need to get in your group, man. I just respect it. I know it." So for me to see those guys, and Jack was like a brother to me, to see him in a group paying for it and buying the courses and like free, I respect it. I'm good, King. Appreciate that, Dev. It makes me proud because I know how far the journey has come. So when I got the TM the other day, I really was like really proud of that because it made me reflect on the journey. So I want y'all to know something, man. On y'all journey, man, don't quit. Right? Don't quit when it get too hard. Don't quit when other people don't believe in it. Right? I started this brand. I started this business with one ebook. Right? And we talking 2 years later, we had 153,000 people in the community. You know what I'm saying? We have the Trappers Anonymous community with over 1,200 people in it. Right? And so I want y'all to know that, man. Like, your journey is more important than the destination because you're going to have experiences on that journey. Like my brother Drew up in here, he remember his brother was my lawyer. We became brothers. When I was fighting for my life, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, I need to get in that group. I need to be a part of what you're doing." So I just want y'all to know, man, the journey is so important. And don't forget that. It's nothing you can't accomplish, even on your wealth building journey, right? The journey for us to build wealth is we have to realize that it's the evolution, right? Yeah, that's what they call me. And everybody knew me. They call me Free. Trapper I got this once I started the brand, but everybody knew me as Free. That shit tattooed on my neck on this side. On this side. Man, they've been calling me Free for a long time, bro. Since I was a youngin'. But, your journey and where you're headed is so important because what you're headed for and what you're destined and deemed to do has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do about how you can help other people. And what you're doing in your life, so many other people's dreams and future is attached to you. Right? Think about it. And, we're going to get into the book, and I don't mean to go too far in this, but just think about it. All of you all, like, I will always be a wealthy man because all of you all started investing in the stock markets. And so you made the dedication to change the dynamics of your family. And because you did that, because you bought your first stock, I am now, yes, I am getting ready for Ramadan. I am now attached to your wealth, not in a bad way like I'm being greedy, but I know that my legacy and what I do in my life will be attached to you saying, "Man, I started investing because this dude Trapper, man, he just gave us, I'm going to always be attached to that. I'm going to always be, a part of that." And that's where the wealth is at for me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing about how much money I can accumulate at all. For me, I'm doing this. One, I'm going to be real for my family because I wanted to be the one to shift my family. I wanted the one to let my daughter's kids be straight. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that to happen, but also the people who I inject the knowledge to, the reason why I got to learn so much, the reason why I keep learning, the reason why I keep growing is because I know that people feed off me. And so their wealth is attached to me. You know what I'm saying? And people proud to say, man, I rock a Trapper. Like, Trap ain't gonna, and you've built that, like, man, Trap ain't gonna leave me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Trapper. Like, my partner told me the other day, another from J, he was like, man, I know you ain't gonna leave me wrong. So just knowing that I know you and knowing how far you came, that make me more confident investing because I've been knowing you since it was 16. I know you ain't gonna leave me wrong. Excuse me. So I just wanted to tell y'all, thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. That's all. I ain't gonna get too much on that. Today I was watching Jim Cramer before we get into the book. I was watching Jim Cramer, and he talked about two stocks that I bought that I told us about a long time ago. He talked about Winnebago. I told y'all about it, and he talked about Chipotle, and I told y'all about it. And he talked about it. He said he loved them. He don't know why he wasn't. I said, and somebody DM me and said, Trap, all I'm gonna say is Winnebago and Chipotle. And I said, I already know. You hear me? I already know. So here's what it is. I told y'all about it a while back. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get into the book, man. So we're gonna break down chapters 1, 2, and 3. We're gonna do it. You know, we're not gonna just get intense and go page for page. But what we all gonna do is, what I like to do is go through some of the things that I got from it, and we rock from there. So, one of the things he said is, it's a quote that he said in the book. He says, in chapter 1, he says, borrowers get paid to borrow and savers get punished for saving. Right? Like, let's say that again. He said, borrowers get paid for borrowing and savers get punished for saving. Right? And the reason why why that stuck out to me is because one of the things that we are prone to is saving. Right? And so I'm going to be real with y'all. My savings account probably got like $6,000 in it. I don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? But I would never say it on Instagram though, but my between both of my page 5 is on page 5. My actual brokerage account, I'm 100 plus. My daughter's sitting at like 45. It's because I always want my money to be working for me, right? Because all the bank gonna do is take your money and make millions and billions of dollars for it. They're gonna leverage your money and give you a little bit back on it. Remember, banks are designed to take your money, right? Banks are designed to take your money. Banks are designed to take your money and pay you back little by little for as long as possible. You feel what I'm saying? Exactly. Borrow is your hand. The queen said borrowers make their money work for them. Your savers barely make you anything. Right? Your savers make the person who using your money rich. Right? And I don't mean anything. Whether you save it in the shoebox, whether you save it in the mattress, whatever you got it at, it ain't doing nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? So the idea should be for us is how can we get our money consistently working for us? Right? That tripped me out when I found out facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we get our money to work for us at all times, right? So we want that idea. So when I started, I was like, boom, that's a bar, right? You know what I'm saying? Borrowers get paid for borrowing. Savers get punished, right? Punished. It literally at the rate of right now, it'll take you, I think it's something like 286 years to make your money back that you got on the savings accounts, right? Like you're dead, right? Right, you're dead. That's why I said I really should have gotten Chipotle. Listen. There's a million other things out there, right? It's a million others out there, but I don't know if they're gonna run like that. But there's a million of them out there. All right. Another thing he said is, and I'll tell you this: one of the greatest lessons I learned from these money masters is that you don't have to predict the future to win this game. Etch that idea out of your big, beautiful brain because it's important, right? And so one of the things we need to realize is that I never try to, one of the things I tell y'all is we never try to predict the market. That's not what we doing. That's not what we doing. We not predicting the market. We not predicting the market at all. Do you believe in having 3 to 6 months of living expenses? So I think for everybody that's different, I'll answer that question to you, Doug. It's all good, King. I think everybody is different. So if you ask myself, I told you I got $6,000 in my savings account. It's been that way. I don't really care about it. And for me, if you ask me why I got it there, I probably don't even know. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even know why. Just cause, right? So 3 to 6 months living expenses to me, I just, I, so for me, I always just believed in my ability to get money. Like point blank, period. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I just been in a lot of dark situations, and being in those dark situations, I always figured it out. Right? I prayed a lot. I pray a lot. So I feel like God always guides me, but I always just believed in my ability to figure it out and get money. And so for that, I never really, went with the, you need 6 months saved and 1 year saved, because most of the people who I lived around and who was with me, they were living check to check. So how hard is it to save 6 months worth of living expenses if you live in check to check? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the one to say yes or no about that. I think that's a personal decision. I just always believed in myself. I believed if I prayed for it, God would give me the right answer and I'm going to go get it. Sometimes I did the wrong thing. Right now we living all the way right. We living all the way clean. And you remember, I started my business with one ebook. You know what I'm saying? And so, I always believed in that. So I'm not the person to tell you yes or no. For me personally, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't really tripping on it, right? One of the kings, I have a 3-2-1 rule. I want my investments 3 times my spending, my savings 2 times my spending, and my spending is right. I like that. I like that, King. I like that, King. I like that. I definitely like that one. Yes, bank only pay you 0.1%, not even a percent. How can you get the book? Just order it, Queen. Just order it off Amazon. That's all everybody else did. Okay, so it says that. So we never trying to time the market, right? And the reason why we don't want to try to time the market, because that's what we lose at. And we'll see what he started talking about portfolio managers and how they raping people with these mutual funds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard you can't predict the market. The market is like a buy. Oh, my ebooks. Oh, my ebooks are in the link in my bio on Instagram. I'm sorry, I apologize. I misunderstood your question, beloved. I'm letting y'all know I got my hair, ain't nothing wrong. I just got a haircut, but y'all know I always wear hoodies anyway. Yeah, so chill out. It's just my look. Nah, we not even talking about that right now, fam. We talking about the book, Unshakeable by Tony Robbins, which is a great book. So we're not trying to predict the markets, right? And so one of the other things he's saying that I like is, and I always say this to y'all, you need to learn the rules of the financial game, who the players are, what are their agendas, where you can get hurt, and how you can win. This knowledge can set you free, right? So the reason why that was important to me, because even when I was in the streets, that's one of the things you got to learn at all times. You got to learn who playing the game, what position they playing in the game, what their strategies are, how you can get hurt in this playing this game. That's me understanding the risk factors of the game, right? And then how you can win the game. Once you understand these rules, page 7. Once you understand these rules, right, then you now position yourself to succeed in the game, right? Because if you just hop in the stock market, this was another reason why we created the group. Corey, what's good, King? I see you, man. I hope you had a great day today. One of the things that kills people is, they just want to jump in the stock market, right? I just want to jump in the market and start investing. You haven't did a lick of research. You don't even know how the game being played. You don't know the rules to the game. You don't know the people who play the game. You don't even know what makes stock prices move, right? And so at that point, you're giving yourself a disadvantage, right? You disadvantaged, right? You can't play exactly strategy, righteous. You need a strategy, right? And at least you need to understand that strategy, because what happens now is, if you go to a chessboard and you just trying to wing it, you're going to die. I'm going to kill you, because I'm coming here with strategy. Even if my first, when I start playing chess, my first 8 moves are strategic. From then, not only do I have strategy, but now I'm counterpunching, right? And everyone that want to play me on chess, download the Chess with Friends. Download that. We can play chess, y'all. You hear me? All right, let's get busy. Let me see how y'all think. I think I got 6 games going on right now, and it's my move, right? So do that. You're just throwing money in the wind without having a plan, man. So we need to understand that strategy. Come on, it was good, Queen. We need to understand that. We need to understand that we need to have a strategy, right? And so this how some of us get stuck, right? Be like, man, I don't really know what to do. The reason why you know what to do, because you don't even know how the game being played. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how the game, that's how you don't know what to do. Remember, like if you get a game, you don't know what to do. The reason why you don't face me in the chest, Trapper, It's cool. Like, hit me up. Y'all know I'm on Chess with Friends. I think my name on there is Young Free, Young F, because they didn't let me put my whole name on there. So yeah, just hit me up. So he speaks a lot about index fund, but based on your post the other day, you don't seem to be a huge fan of it. Let me see. Let me get it, Queen. Let me get in. Let me see your whole thing. What's your position on index funds? Okay, cool. I'll face you for your Chipotle shirt. Listen, my shares ain't on the line. So Queen, that's a good question. So for me, this is how I feel about them, right? I think that index funds are great if you aren't willing to do the research, right? If you aren't willing to do the research, then you should invest in index funds to get your feet wet. But once you get your feet wet, you know, you should be learning how to research companies. And then what happens is the index fund now becomes the foundation. And then your research now becomes the gas that pushes your portfolio forward. If that makes sense, because the market gonna typically go up more than it goes down. So with the indexes, it'll be a catalyst. It'll be your foundation to your portfolio. And then as you start picking stocks, yeah, they compound. Of course they do. As long as it's in the market, it's compounded. But as you pick individual stocks, they become the fuel to, you know, fueling your portfolio. And I hope that makes sense to everybody. Just knowing the rules, right? And so here's something that was great, right? Here's something that's more great that I like. He said, and this is when we don't have the relationship, right, with the money, and we don't have the financial game plan. He says, when people are forced to make financial decisions, they often act out of fear. And any decision made in a state of fear is likely wrong, right? Crystal, did that make sense to you, Queen? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, right. Are index funds, ETFs good to put in a Roth IRA brokerage account? Of course. That's what my ETF at. My IHI, I got 22 shares of it. It's sitting in my Roth IRA. But make sure y'all dividends are reinvested too. The reason why I like that is because this is the thing that I've noticed about people in general, right? Yes, I'm on page 7. One thing I note about people in general is when it comes to making like real financial decisions, most people get scared. Yes, you will get a better return on individual funds, but you're also taking more risk. So you got to ask yourself, what is your risk tolerance? For me, you know, I bought Amazon at 19. I watched it go all the way down to 13.50 and ain't panic. I ain't flinch. I was like, all right, cool. This is what we doing. Because I had already did my research. Now I understood that the business was still good. The reason the price was going up and down was due to people, right? It was due to people. It had nothing to do with the actual company, right? So, and that's something we need to learn too. We got to build that fortitude up and tell ourselves, just because the stock goes down, we got to understand the business, right? And so people are asking me right now, Trapper, what do you think about all stocks? I don't think nothing about it, right? Because you want to know, and I'm not saying you all, a lot of people on Instagram, what do you think about all stocks? You know why? Because they think because the stock going down is cheap, right? One of the things we know in the group is that not only do we looking at the stock, we also look at the industry itself. We're looking at the industry itself, right? The industry is the industry shrinking, right? And so one of the things we talked about investing is the company, the industry, and then the stock, right? And we need to know that, man. I've learned what to do and not to do with making mistakes. Costly by errors also come with a price, for sure. We scared to take a loss, for sure. No risk for no reward, for sure. Reinvest dividends with your broker. Yep. And so that's what we want to do, man. We want to be able to make bold decisions, right? And not scared decisions. Because if we make scared decisions, we're going to make bad decisions, right? Yep. Hold and stand the course. You on it, Queen. 100%. So that was something that was real dope to me about that. Let me know what y'all think about that. We talked about that. And he said something that was real dope as well. He said, people love to say knowledge is power. But the truth is knowledge is only potential power. You and I both know that unless it's useless if you don't act on it. Right? And so that's what we need to know, right? That's what we need to know. They get scared because they like messing up money in the trap. A lot of us don't learn financial. It's a fact. It's a fact. So the thing about the knowledge that you gain from the courses and the knowledge, and this is why I say I looked at some of you all Yeah, you like that quote? Yeah, it was dope, right? um, I told you I watch a lot of what y'all talk about and a lot of what y'all do. And one of the things I like the most is that I've watched a lot of you all grow in the group. Like Ali, for example. I remember when I first, was doing one-on-one calls, like I did 2 one-on-one calls, Ali, he was just so confused about a lot of shit, right? And I'm talking to him, I'm talking him through it. And he actually made me a better teacher because he was frustrating me. He was frustrating me, and I knew the question that he wanted, it was too deep for me to give to him. And I didn't want, one of the worst things I see a lot of people do is they overwhelm you with knowledge. And to overwhelm a person with knowledge is almost worse than giving them no knowledge at all. Because to overwhelm them with knowledge now confuses them. The worst person to invest is the confused person, right? So he made me a better teacher. He made me go back in the lab and be able to break stuff down. So, and it wasn't that he did it out of, he wanted to learn, right? But he didn't know what he wanted to learn. He just know he wanted to learn. So that made me a better teacher and deal with him. And I think, and I watch him now and I see him execute. I see him in comments like, nah, yo, not this, not that. You need to do this. And I watch him like, damn, I remember when he ain't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I watch a lot of you all like that who've been in the group for a while. I've watched you come into your own, right? I watched you come into your own, and I've watched you become more confident in, you still might ask me questions, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've watched you all become so confident in, right, Rail, you on it. After winter comes spring, no matter how long. Facts. Yeah, that was a dope bar. I got that wrote down. And so I've watched him become more confident. I watched some of you all become more confident. Some of the queens, and I've watched you all come in a group and just be like, man, look. So I be like, oh, I remember when they first started. So how does that relate to the quote is they applied the knowledge. B straight too. B like hard. I've watched B. Now B was on it, but I've watched him take his game to another level. And for me, that makes me proud. That makes me proud. But I remember saying this because the knowledge, to have the knowledge is one thing, but to be able to act on it, to be able to recognize it, it's not like Cameron, another one, like he came in the game like that. He knew some things, but I watched him be more. Even by the post y'all make, I can tell you build your confidence. And I like that. That's what I like to see, man. I like to see that, man. I love to see that. It let me know that the group is doing what it's supposed to do. It let me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's how we keep building. That lets me know I can keep adding value because I know that the people in the group gonna help each other, even when I'm not in a group. Okay, so that was a great bar too. This was one. Let me see. I have this wrote down. He says, okay, he's talking about financial advisors. Peter flew specifically from his home in Kansas to meet me in Los Angeles, where I conducted it Unleash the Power Within event. It was there he dropped the bomb, explaining how financial advisors who market themselves as straight shooters are actually exploiting a gray area in the law to sell products that benefit themselves. They claim to be fiduciaries. So it's a fiduciary, in case some of y'all don't know, a fiduciary is somebody who's supposed to invest for you out of your best interest, not a financial advisor. A financial advisor and a fiduciary are two different people, right? Most people need to get fiduciaries. And this was something dope that he talked about because the fiduciary play in the gray area. He says they exploit the gray area in the law to sell products that benefit themselves. They claim to be fiduciaries, a small minority of advisors who legally obligated to put their clients' best interest first. In reality, they were unscrupulous salespeople who profited from misrepresenting themselves, right? And so they act as wolves in sheep clothing. Equally important, we will give you the tools and criteria to help you identify honest, conflict-free advisors who truly look out for your best interests, right? One of the things I liked about that was nobody cares more about your money than you. Page 13, right there. Can you write that up? Right. Nobody cares about your money than you. You know why? Because you made it. You worked hard for it. You earned it. Right. And that was one of the things I think that all that advisors they are. Like, to be real with you, Edward, real talk, King, they're not. because I'm not shitting on nobody. Like let's get that right. But their objective is never to benefit you. It's always to make money for the system, and then you become second. I don't know if y'all saw the post I made today. It was with me on it, and I tagged a queen, and her name was Akila. So Akila been my friend from a long time ago, and I remember when she was selling makeup patterns for $100. I mean, for makeup patterns, and her goal was to make $100 a day, right? That was their goal. Her goal was to make 100. Yep, the real Jack boys for sure. Her goal was to make $100 a day. And I remember the moment it clicked for her, and she went all in on herself while she was going to nursing school. And I remember like a couple years later, she made like her first $1 million. So it was like 2015. So maybe like 2017, she made $1 million. So she called me on the phone, and she was like, man, this stock shit eating me up. And I was like, she was like, man, my financial advisor, yes, Edge Entity, right? That's my girl, man. She from New Orleans, live out there in Memphis now. And she hit me up. And she was like, free, man. You know, man, I made $1 million, and I'm trying to I'm investing my money, but I'm losing money in this shit. And I'm like, what you losing money? And I'm like, let me see. So she ran her portfolio down to me. And I was like, man, you better get off that financial advisor. Let me show you how this shit work, you hear me? And I went to explaining it to her, and she was like, man, what? I was like, yeah. And so she really told me to start this. But even though financial advisors aren't like trying to kill you, but their best interest is always to make money from the firm, because they get paid off that, right? And then you come second, right? So you paying somebody to give you subpar returns, right? And if you're going to pay somebody to give you subpar returns, then what you can do is invest in the index funds or ETFs in the beginning. And as you're learning, so now your money working for you. And as you're learning, now you become more strategic with how you maneuver in the market, right? So I appreciated that. This and so that was real cool. They got a few other things, but I don't want to stay there too long. Let's see. I'm closing my 401k as we speak, baby. Oh man. And here's what somebody says. He says, when a person with experience meets a person with money, the person with experience ends up with the money, and the person with the money ends up with the experience. You feel me? Hey, listen, that was a bar. Right? You feel it? Man, my 401k has never sold. Right. And so you think about that, right? You think about that. And this is why, I'm going to be real with y'all. This is why I don't want to invest for people. Yeah, I was about to say that. Glad you said that, Corey. I was about to say that. Don't close it. Roll it over to a Roth IRA. I was about to say that. Good thing, man. Roll it over to a Roth IRA, and then you can still keep it. Yeah. Right. That was a bar. For me, I was like, that's crazy. And, let's just say it again. It says, when a person with experience meets a person with money, the person with experience ends up with the money, and the person with the money ends up with the experience, right? Like, a Roth IRA is really good because it's already taxed when the money go in there. And the reason why that was dope for me was because so many people, and we're going to talk about two things here. Fear. Right? Fear is one thing. Fear is one thing. And one of the things that creates fear is lack of experience. Right? So most people wanted me to invest their money for them. Like, free travel. Why don't you invest my money for? I'll pay you. And I know so many people. It's a good thing that I have built my brand and my reputation to be the way it is. But the thing that I loved the most about it was I was like, nah, I'm not investing your money for you. Because what happens is I'm the person with experience, and I can easily use that. You know what I'm saying? I can easily use that to benefit me. And that's what I don't want people to do. I don't want people to do that. I want people to say, yes, you can. How is always more valuable than the what? Exactly. So I wanted people to realize that the truth is we need to build a system to learn how to invest for ourselves, right? And stop looking for other people to do it for us, right? Because the experience that you're going to come, because for me, I always felt like this. If I lose my money, I learn from it, right? And that's why that's so heavy about this bar. The person with the money is going to gain the experience because you're going to be like, damn, I lost my money right here. You know what I'm saying? I could have did that my damn self. How many times have you did something? Like, check this out. How many times have you done something you've been like, man, I could have did that my damn self with that person. I remember being in the streets. I'm not gonna lie. I remember being in the streets and I was like, I used to pay somebody to do something for me, right? And I was like, man, I could do this my damn self. And to cook work up myself, like to work, to rock it up, I used to pay somebody to do it for me because I didn't know how to do it. Because the first time I did it, it's impossible to do this, but I burnt it, right? I burnt it. I was like, how I did that? So I had to give it to them. They had to redo it for me, like get the crumb, and I wound up losing money on it, right? It was my fault. And I was like, man. So I watched them do it, and I let them do it a couple times. I was like, man, you know what? I can just do this myself. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's one of my favorite things. Turn that L into a lesson. Right? And I was like, I can just do this myself, man. And so I learned how to do it myself. Because as long as I let them do it, I'm paying them to do something I can do myself. So yeah, man. So we definitely want to do that, right? Here's something that was dope that I liked what he said. Let me see. Oh, this was great. This was great. I got stuff marked out, right? It says, I wish it were that simple. As a lifelong student of human behavior, I can tell you this. Most people find it really hard to sit tight instead of in the market when everything is going haywire. Buy and hold tends to go out of the window. If you have nerves of steel like Buffett or Jack Bogle, that's great. But if you want to know how the majority of people behave under stress, just check out a study by Dalbar, one of the financial industry's leading research firms. He revealed that a gigantic discrepancy between the market's return and the people who actually achieve. For instance, the S&P 500 returned an average of 10.28% from 1985 to 2015. At this rate, your money doubles every 7 years. Thanks to the power of compounding, you'd have made a killing just by owning an index fund that tracked the S&P for over 30 years. So let's say you invested $50,000. How much you have made by 2015? By 2015, you would have made $941,613. That's almost $1 million, right? Cool, right? So the thing about that is, yes, page 17. So the thing about that was, what I loved about that was, and the power of that was saying, take your financial future into your own hand, right? Take the power of your financial future to your own hand. No judging, Queen. Listen, I had to learn. I had to learn. You heard me? And that was powerful because you took the power of your own financial freedom into your own hand. Listen, Tony knows some shit, man. I'm gonna be real. Like, Tony knows some shit, man. When you listen to him live, he be talking all kind of stuff. He knows his books are dope. I really want us to get into the Money to Master the Game book. That's gonna be a book. It's gonna take us a minute because it's a monster. It's a monster book. I want us to get into that because he started tapping into the financial minds. I really want us to get into the Ray Dalio book too, but I don't want to say train us. I just want us to get into the, before I just start throwing these big books in there, right? Yeah, that book, that Money Master the Game is a huge book. So I want us to get into the mind. I don't want us to be like, man, it's a big ass book, Trap. So I want us to get into that. So that was a great one, right? And we talked about the emotions. And so this is one of the things that's real dope for us is the emotions of the market, right? The emotions of the market is what kills a lot of people because they get emotional. What's the difference? Oh, so the Unshakeable is, how can I say this? Masters of the Game is a full course meal. Unshakeable is fast food. Not health wise, but proportion wise. Make sense? Master of the Game is a full course meal. Unshakeable is fast food, right? I am too. I'm reading this. I'm reading Ray Dalio. I'm reading this because of you all. I'm reading Principles by Ray Dalio for myself, and I'm reading this book about conscious capitalism. So it's a dope ass book. So yeah. So we need that. So still here, we'll tap into somebody says, let me see. Yeah, Ray Dalio, the truth. Buffett's formula, live in America, good genes, and compounding interest. Facts. Yeah, 100%. Got it. Unshakable will prime us for Money Master the Game. Yeah, it is. And actually, Money Master the Game was first. It's just a huge book. That and Tools of the Titans are two of the biggest books I've ever seen in my life. Like, these two books are huge. And eventually I want us to get Tools of the Titans. So he talked about that. So those are some good things I liked in there. And then he said, as I mentioned earlier, this is a time of tremendous uncertainty for most people. The global economy is still limping along all of these years. Listen to this. Middle class salaries have staggered for decades. Technology is disrupting so many industries that we don't even know what jobs will still exist in the future. And then there's the nagging feeling that a bear market is overdue after so many strong years. I don't know about you, but all of the uncertainty is making people feel fearful. All this prevents them from building wealth by investing in financial markets and becoming long-term owners of the economy, not just consumers, right? So, I can't do audiobooks, man. I gotta read them, man. Trap, we know there is no emotion in investing, but FOMO is hard to get over, bro. You be mad too. Now, see, because I remember the FOMO you just had. So I think one of the things how we can combat or we can mitigate, yes, my love, that was page 18. Yeah, you on it. I like that, right? Don't go into the light. Oh yeah, you're talking to B. Don't go into the light. Yeah. Oh, I was reading that earlier. With a superior man. It's sitting on my table right there. Yeah, definitely a great book. I get sidetracked too easy with audio. Damn, audiobooks put me to sleep, man. I'm not gonna lie. And so what I enjoyed about that is two things that I liked about that. Investing puts you in the mindset of being ownership, right? Ownership instead of consumers. Think about it. I own Apple and I own, yeah, The Way of Superior Man is it, man. Listen, that's one of my favorite reads. That, The Alchemist, yeah, Vision by Miles Monroe. Why Man Need Vision, one of my dope books I like. There's this, I have it, read some, right? Investing switches us from consumers to producers. Me, I try to do two at once for sure. I'll read two books at once, but I'll skim through a million books. Let me show y'all something right quick. Nah, it ain't that important. I got about 18 books sitting right there. Like I'll read 2 books for sure, but I'll skim through a million books. I'm reading this book because I've read it and I want us to get into it. So this makes the 3rd book. And I'm actually having I'm reading Principles with a friend of mine. We're reading Principles together so we can feed off each other. And I think that's something that you all should do too. Even though we do it in a group, I think you should get a partner and y'all decide on getting a book and y'all read it together and y'all share notes. How do you deal with FOMO, bro? Okay, cool. We can't stay on IG like this. I'm going to miss it. Right. Nah, we'll stay here. It's cool. We'll stay here. So one of the things about FOMO is the idea of fear of missing out. So the thing about the fear of missing out is we lock in prices. That's what happened with me with your Chipotle. That's why we find value in the business and then we lock in the price. Right? Once you lock in the price, now you've already tapped in. And even though I feel like I wanted to do more with Chipotle, me having 20 shares of it, I feel good about it. Right? I wanted to put another 10 grand in it, right? But because I got 20 shares of it, I ain't missed out. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a bookworm, so it's changing the channels. Yeah, that's me. I don't watch TV, so me sitting down watching Billions was amazing for me. But B, that's how I don't trip on the fear of missing out. because you already know how to find value in a business. So now you have the upper hand. So if a business running on you and you did the value of it, then you already know that it's overvalued anyway. So it's overbought. So you're not tripping on that. For me, again, for me it was Chipotle because I had been sitting on it and I understood when I got it, boom, I bought these 20 shares of it. Cool. Now that it's running up to 800, I'm like, man, I should have put that other 10 grand there. But I'm not mad. I don't feel like I missed out because I got the 20 shares. So I think how you combat the fear of missing out is by locking in a price, right? That's how I combat it. I lock in a price. That's why it's so important for us to learn the research and find the value. Baker was good, King. Amazon is my FOMO. So for me, I got in Amazon at 19. I wrote it down to 13. And then, just last week I bought 3 shares for myself. And today I bought 3 more shares for myself at 24. And it's something I don't normally do. But what I did was, because I'm not going to lie, I believe in Amazon. I personally, and don't take this is not investing in advice for nobody. I think Amazon is a $3,500 stock in the long run. I think the axe is the real deal, man. Listen, don't get me started. Right, because I could talk about that. I could close this book and talk about how many plays is in that movie. I mean, in that series. But what happens is for us is that's how we combat the fear of missing out. We lock in at a certain price, right? Once we lock in a price, then if it run up because we know we're still a part of it. You know what I'm saying? If I read more than 3 at a time, it starts running together. Tony Robbins starts becoming a part of my black. 100%. Well, somebody said I must use it off. Johanna. Let me text my bro because of my auntie. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro, she good, man. I wanted to hit you right back up, man, but I jumped in the book club right quick. We definitely got to finish that conversation, man. I'll hit you up as soon as I finish this. That's definitely, excuse me, y'all. I didn't mean to do that, y'all. I had to do that. Yeah, right. Cool. Motion 3rd was the day I uploaded the clip, Travel, for sure. I did, but not all the way. FOMO, cool, understand. Travel, what do you think about setting up a mini book club with the group? Is that allowed? Nah, it's cool. Say, for example, we set up our touch points for a book like Charlie Munger, The Complete Investor, and we discuss it on our own. No doubt, I don't have a problem with that at all. I was going to actually do that. That's one of my books on that too, but I don't have a problem with that. I just hope I don't want it to distract you all from what we doing. So if y'all gonna set up a book club on y'all own, I don't have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem at all with it. As long as we stay the course with what we reading, we good. Do I think that we're heading to a recession? Of course we are. We're almost in it right now. The recession is nothing but, see, this is what I talk about knowing the rules. You just understand what a recession is. A recession is when the economy goes through 2 quarters of negative growth. The first quarter, we going through negative growth right now. Because the economy is still not open, it's a good chance that we will have another quarter of negative growth, which puts us in a recession. So that was dope. I think chapter 1 was great. What do y'all think about chapter 1 so far? Give me some of y'all feedback on chapter 1. I'm sticking with this one only for sure. That's why I say I think it's better if you and somebody get together and then y'all just do y'all own thing outside of the book club. That's cool. But it's all good. Going into, I feel the same way. I don't think we're going to see a positive quarter until we get to quarter 4. Now, let me tell y'all what's interesting about this too, man. I talked about this on a live last night, but I didn't go deep into it. It's impossible for stock prices to be running up, even though I pick Chipotle as a great business, and it is. But there's no way the stock should have went from 425 to 825 now in a matter of a week and a half, right? There's no way that this should happen. The reason why this shouldn't be happening is because businesses aren't open completely for business. So that means these numbers are misleading. Not misleading to the point where it's not happening, but it's showing too much confidence in the economy. We having too much negative growth. There's no positivity going here, right? There's no positivity here, right? There's no positivity here, right? This shouldn't be happening. I'm going to be real with y'all. They still open. It's not about them being open. They aren't even at 50% capacity with people coming in. Every time I would go to the Chipotle, I gotta stand in line. You can literally go in Chipotle right now and get your food. You know what I'm saying? So it's not confusing. You just gotta understand what's going on, right? There's no way you can have all this negativity and stock prices still run when they are, they correlate with one another. This shouldn't be happening. So it's procaine, 100%. It's procaine, right? It's not enough. Bingo, hit it on the mark. There isn't enough people spending money for numbers to be running like this. It's a trap. So this is why the market is rigged, man. Best week in the 80 years and 100%. How can you possibly have 6 million people unemployed? 6 million people file for unemployment, right? 6 million people file for unemployment, right? Also, companies are now taking out guidance saying, look, we don't even know what's going to happen. So they're not even putting that into their quarterly reports no more. Like we don't know what's going to happen, right? Right? So they don't know what's going to happen. They report negative. So many people getting bailed out. So many people going bankrupt, right? There's no reason why numbers should be running like this. How does it happen? It happens through the market saying, okay, remember, the market moves off of fear and greed, right? So what happens is, because the Fed says, listen, we're going to dump everything we got. We're going to print all this money. We're going to dump all of this money into the stock market, because the goal is for them not to let the market crash, right? But in reality, they should have let that shit bottom out. But nobody wants it to bottom out on their watch. So it's like them keep blowing the balloon up. You know, you blow a balloon up, think about it. You ever blow the balloon up so much and then you know when it's about to pop, you be like, you know what I'm saying? You like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know it's about to bust. That's where we at right now. Right? So we have to be steadfast and we have to be strong in what we doing. I'm going to be real with y'all. It's going to come a time where I personally feel like this bitch is going to bottom. Right? It has to pop. It has to pop. I'm not a predictor of the future, but I feel like it has to pop. Right? So let's tap into chapter 2. Let's get into some things. So how y'all feel about chapter 1, man? How y'all feel about chapter 1? You said my hairline got rules on IG, and the jokes went over my question on IG Live. This is FOMO. I see a lot of people giving out pics on Facebook and IG who don't know shit but a cheap price. Facts. That's why I don't do that, man. But letting it bottom out means it's on your resume. No one wants that on their resume. Right, 100%. Right, the housing market crashed. That's why GP market. Yep, 100%. Did you everybody trying to secure themselves? See, what happens is now though, the market has been so inflated for so long, right? The market was so inflated for so long. If you let it bottom out, everything corrects itself. What do you by pop mean? Bottoms, crash, right? We ain't really listen. The bear market hit for 2 days, maybe a few days, and then maybe a week, and then it bounced back. A bear market is not supposed to bounce back that fast, especially when we have this much negative growth. We have negative growth. We have negative earnings. We have people not, man, the economy. We working at like a 30% economy right now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like everything has to pop, and when it pops, I'm gonna be real with you. When it pops, a lot of people gonna be in bad positions. Think about this. You have businesses right now who can't pay rent, and they bringing in billions of dollars. How do you think people who work in a job is gonna fare out? Right? If these businesses who make billions of dollars every day, right? You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta position ourselves do you sell the whole? Now, what I don't want you to do is take what I'm saying. I think as an investor, that's why we talk about things like this, so you make the right decision for you. You know what I'm saying? You make the right decision for you. I'm gonna make the right decision for me, and for me, I'm cash heavy and I'm doing a little bit of both, right? Because I love the game. For me, I love the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of different. I love the game. So the way I play the game is gonna be different. All right, so let me get there. Let me get into this chapter 2. One of the things he said in chapter 2 is, in reality, the number you should really... Now, this was dope. He talked about financial freedom. He says, in reality, the number you should really aim for is 20 times your income. So if you currently earn $100,000... Excuse me, y'all. If you currently earn $100,000, you'll need $2 million. It may sound like a lot, but remember that our friend Joe got there with a mere $28,000. And my bet is that you'll need much more to invest in the coming years. And he talked about master the game. So let's talk about this. He said, how would you feel if you could cover because he talked about this. So most people say that I'm gonna be real. So if I told you needed $2 million right now to retire, be real. Does that number sound unattainable? Let's talk about those. See, yeah, those numbers, boom, exactly. I'm glad you said that. If I told you needed $2 million to retire, be honest, how does that make you feel? Right? Let's talk about it. You'll be like, man, do you like? Let's be real. Is that intimidating? Like, is that like, man, 2 million trap? Like 2 million trap? Like, is that intimidating to you? Like, we here, we talking. That can be intimidating, right? You be like, but I need 2 million, bro. I ain't, not counting nobody pockets, but like, man, I ain't seen 100,000 cash trap. You talking about now I need 2 million? It can be discouraging. So I like what Tony Robinson said here. He says, how would you feel if you could cover your cost of your mortgage, food, utilities, transportation, and insurance without ever working again? Pretty great, right? The good news is this number is usually 40% less than the ultimate financial independence. So now we talked about this, right? It would be overwhelming. I'm glad y'all saying that. Let's be real with each other, right? Let's be real with each other. So, but what if I then told you, man, you don't need 2 million. What I need you to do is I need you to add up how much your mortgage or rent, your insurance, your car note, I need you to get that number first. Right? Right? And if you can get that number, doesn't sound intimidating, right? Yep, behind the 8 ball, right? Right. So think about that. That number doesn't sound too intimidating. Now let's bring it back. So what if I told you, listen, you don't need 2 million. What if I said, just be able to, what if I told you can just pay your bills and then you be good? You pay your bills, you have an extra $1,500. You know what I'm saying? Like you pay your bills and you had an extra $2,000 after you paid your bills and everything. That doesn't sound as intimidating, right or wrong? Right? That doesn't sound too intimidating. Righteous king. So how does that number sound? That sounds more attainable, right? If I told you if you can just cover now see what happens with this we got to do now is we got to start taking away unnecessary spending we be doing. Right? We talking about just covering the bills and then having an extra $2,000 a month or $1,800 a month. Because remember, after you cover your bills, you really don't spend too much more money after that unless you wasting money. Right? It sounds better. It sounds more attainable, right? So check this out. What he says is, thus you can hit that number quicker. Once you hit that target, you have to build up so much more momentum that the bigger target won't feel like a stretch. So let's talk about that. Well, listen, that's why he didn't say it was freedom, Cam. He said that was independence. I'm glad that you said that. So the $2 million is where your financial freedom comes in at. He said because that number is so big, it can be intimidating. So let's scale it down because the financial independence number is 40% less than that number. You feel me? So let's say this. For financial independence, if you can just pay all your bills, you will feel good, right? That's the financial independence. But here's what happens. Once you've understood how to accumulate that number, then attaining the 2 million becomes easier. Or whatever your number is. Why? Because now you are no longer worried about your overhead. You got that took care of. So now what happens is you start this chopping a tree down, right? Because what happens with us a lot of times is we try to look at the bigger picture all the time, right? We try to look at the bigger picture all the time. And sometimes the bigger picture could be intimidating. This is why some people can never finish some of the things they do. You know why? Because the finish line seems so far away. Instead of saying, let me take the race one leg at a time. Right to my time equity. Right? 100%. Right? So does that sound better? If we can now start working toward getting that. So now this is when our investments start taking place. Remember, the dude invested $28,000. And then, let me see what it was. He invested $28,000. Let me see where it was at. He invested $28,000, and then by the end of it, he had, what he ended up with? $3 million. 3.4 million. And he stopped at 28,000. He stopped at 28 years old, right? He stopped he had 3 million in the 30 years. Yes, Queen. Yes. You feel me? So what happens is, this is why I want us to get into the idea of investing, right? Like, this is why one of the first things we do is, and I talk about this is, man, let's start paying ourselves first. This is how we chop the tree down. I don't care if it's 10%, 5%. What's going to happen is human nature says this. You start off with 5%. Once you get used to that, you're going to be like, man, you know what? I don't need to go out to eat. I'm about to waste this money. Why don't I just take this money, the money I'm going to spend here, let me put that in my account, man. So, and I'm going to just go buy me something, groceries. You feel what I'm saying? So now, instead of taking 5% of that paycheck, now you're like, I'm going to just do 10% every time I get paid, man, because that's going to keep me from wasting money. You're going to start learning how to do more with less, right? And then once you start doing that, you're like, you know what, man? I can do 15%. That's how, listen, if you ever heard any of my interviews, you heard me say I was investing 70% of my money. You know why? I went to living so minimal. I understood this. I'm gonna pay myself first. I'm gonna take care of my, send my daughter her money. Man, I'm not going out to eat. I'm not doing the club. I was literally investing 70% of my money. I was doing it because I was like, man, I'm not about to spend no money on that. I'm not about to do that, man. That's wasting my money. You know what I'm saying? This is a waste of my money. And that's what's going to start happening. You know what I'm saying? I talk about nothing that I didn't do, nothing that I ain't live. You know what I'm saying? 70% of my money. 70% of my money. You know what I'm saying? I would give my daughter no child support. I would send my daughter mom the money for my daughter. Here, boom, take that, put that up for her. And then I created I was like, listen, whatever you need for her, I'm going to take care of that. And then what I started doing now was I started her own account. You know what I'm saying? I started her own account. So now I started, okay, now let me start putting $200 in for my daughter, $100 in for my daughter. So I went to doing whatever I could for my daughter, just looking for the long term. And that's what's going to happen. Human nature says whatever I do and I can see it and I keep getting better. How long did I do 70%? I still do it. I don't live an extravagant lifestyle. The only time I really spend money is when I'm traveling. You know what I'm saying? When I'm traveling. I'm buying probably because my business take, but I do about 55 to 60% of my money goes to me investing. Because I don't care about a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really cool with, I would rather have money than look like I have money. You know what I'm saying? Because I know as long as my money working for me, I got money. I ain't never going to go broke long as I got money in the stock market. I just told you, I got $6,000 in my savings account. Literally, I'll pull that shit. I got $6,000 in that shit. $6,000 in my savings account. I don't care. It's just there. You know what I'm saying? So, and so that's what we need to do. One of the things we need to do is we need to start asking ourselves, I invest, and that's how we start setting investing goals. The investing goals start putting us in a position where we say, okay, cool, I'm investing for this. right? I mean, I tell people all the time, they be like, Travis, I ain't for you. You need to go learn how to do something else, right? Invest in gold. Okay, I want my investments to take care of this, right? So when you start putting that gold together, what do I need? How do I put that together? How do I do this? Boom. And then once you do that, you've been doing it for so long, it becomes a habit. So now every extra dollar you have, you be like, I'm gonna put this in. I'm about to make this work for me, right? The mindset shift, the light bulb go off, bing, because now you start saying, this is how wealth is built. I understand the game now. Like we transition from being a consumer to being an owner. And that's how we reach the financial freedom part. You get the independence, then you get the financial freedom. So that was dope. And that's what I like about this chapter. He says, and then he says this, which is great. What I like, he says, but how are you going to get there? First, you have to save and invest. Become an owner, not just a consumer. Pay yourself first by taking a percentage of your income and deducting it automatically from your paycheck to your bank account. This will build your freedom fund. The source of your lifetime income will not allow you to never have to work again. My guess is that you're already doing this, but maybe it's time to give yourself a raise. Increase the 10% to 15 and then the 15 to 20. Right? How much I put toward my business? I think me and my assistant did the numbers today, and I think we do I put somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000 in my business, give or take, depending on what we doing, how we advertising, how we marketing. And so one of the things you need to do if you start a business, the greatest investment you can put in your business is marketing, right? And I think if some of y'all who are business owners who you want to do a business, don't let nobody tell you that marketing isn't the best thing. Create a good product, create a great product, and then market the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? Market the hell out of it. Because why do you think companies, I'm going to tell you why marketing is so important. Why do you think people spend $2-3 million on a Super Bowl commercial? They want to market their business. They know that everybody watching it. Any major sports event, marketing is the biggest thing. But definitely give yourself a raise, man. If you're doing that for so long, give yourself a raise. And you're going to automatically do it. The reason why you're going to automatically do it is because you're going to start realizing that if you don't give yourself a raise, you're going to waste some money. Right? Yep. Fashion Nova is the example of that, right? Grant Cardone. You can't go on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or YouTube without seeing Grant Cardone on that joint. You know what I'm saying? Or on anything, right? So marketing, right? Don't be scared. Don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of that. It is. That's why I say the first thing you need to do is create a good product. But we're not gonna turn this into a business council, y'all. But definitely give yourself a raise, man. Definitely give yourself a raise. Somebody said the tummy tea, right? Facts. It says the single best place to compound money over time is in the stock market, right? And it's because it's fertile land. You know what I'm saying? And so that's great. And then it says, you and I both know the stock market has made millions of people rich over the last 200 years. Despite the many ups and downs, it's been the best place for long-term investors to build wealth. But you need to understand the market patterns. You need to understand the seasons. And this is what we'll discuss. And one of the things he says is, after winter always comes spring. Right? And so that's one of the things we need to, and I tell people, and it's not that I'm competing with real estate at all. I enjoy real estate. I think it's a great tool. But people look at, the tangible aspect of real estate. Right? But what we need to understand is that nothing compounds or give you rates of return like investing in the stock market. Nothing. So that's why I love it. Says, and let me tell you, the ability to invest without fear is critically important. Why? Because so many people are paralyzed by the fear that they can barely bring themselves to dip their toes in the water. They're terrified that the stock market will crash and wash away all their happy earned savings. They're terrified that stocks will nosedive right after they invest. They're terrified that they'll get hurt because they don't know what they're doing. But you'll soon discover all those fears will quickly fade away once you understand the pattern of facts that we'll reveal in the next few chapters. When any market falls by 10% from its peak, it's called a correction. So we know this already, right? And he breaks down these 7 rules that I like. One of my favorite lines somebody said, like spring, winter, summer, fall. And historically, the average correction lasts for 54 days, less than 2 months. In other words, most corrections are almost over before you know it. Not that scary. But it's important to note that in the average correction over the last 100 years, the market has fallen 13.5%. By the end of 2015, the average dip was 14%. But it turns out that fewer than 5 corrections escalate to where they become bear markets. To put it another way, 80% of all corrections don't turn into bear markets. Right? So, and that's something we need to know. Yes. All the way to 31. Yes. 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 That's a fact. We pay the best CEOs in the world to make money for us. Yep, pattern in history. And the thing about pattern in history, what he talking about is not timing the market. And one of the things he said here I love, he says that he says stocks aren't guaranteed. They don't repeat themselves, but they rhyme. And what he meant by that is simply this. You can't say because this happened, that's happened. What you can say is something similar will take place, which means after, and it says it, and I've always said it, the reason why we need to be fearless in our approach of investing is because the stock market goes up way more than it goes down. And if it goes up way more than it goes down, and we know that if we can weather the downturn, then we know, man, it's going to be beautiful for us on the other side. Because what happens is once it goes down, it bounces up twice and 3 times as hard. You know what I'm saying? And so once we can get that in our mind, and we can say, don't get me wrong, what I like what he said, and I like what Jack Bogle said. They said that, man, don't get me wrong, when it dropped down, man, it's gut wrenching. Because you're like, man. So remember when I told y'all, I know how I play the game. So for me, once I find a value of a business, I'm going to buy it at a certain price, right? But for me, I love the game, and I keep my clips loaded. So if that sucker start dropping fall, I'm punching it while it's going on. Let me get a hit. Let me lock in that price. Because I don't know what you're going to do next. You falling right now. You done fell 10%, 8%. Let me tap in right now. So if you shoot up, I'm good. I locked in something. You fell another 13%. Let me lock in right now. I'm good. If you fall again, let me lock in. I'm locking in. I love to lock in. That's why the raises you give yourself are good. Because what you're going to do with them raises is you're not going to always invest them. You're going to just sit them on the side. They're your soldiers. They're ready to go to war for you. You know what I'm saying? Definitely with that. And so he says here with happy endings, he says, despite a 14.2 average drop with each year, markets ended up being positive return 27 of the last 36 years. I ain't no mathematician, but that's something like 80%, 80 something percent. You know what I'm saying? That's something like 80%. That's something like 80%. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just dope, man. So let's see. It's just me highlighting different things that was eye-catching to me. Okay, check this out. He said, I'm not saying that every company or every individual stock will do good over time. You and I both know that the business world is a Darwinian jungle. And check out the Darwin. Check him out. Some companies will die. Listen to this. Some companies will die. Some stocks will fall to zero. But one big advantage of owning an index fund is that it tracks a basket of stocks in the S&P. The weaker companies will be intermediately get clued out for the stronger ones. It's survival of the fittest in action, right? I like that. And here's why. I didn't like it for the index fund component, but I liked it because I wanted you all to understand this. This is why we don't speculate. Yes, 36. This is why we don't speculate. You own it, queen. This is why we don't speculate. This is why we got great companies with great balance sheets, right? Because they can withstand the test of time. But what happens is once we see industry shifting, and the great thing about investing in the stock market is this. As the world evolves, new problems come about. As new problems come about, new companies are born that solves these problems. So now as we get better at becoming investors, we start to now be able to point out which company solves the problem the best. And if that company can solve the problem the best and it has a great fundamental advantage as far as balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, have a moat, have a competitive edge, it's great CEO, great management, great asset allocation. Once we start learning these things, we start learning repetition. Once we start learning these things, we start, oh, I like this business. So now we start evolving. So we see industry shrinking. Look, we don't fall in love with no business. I done held on to this business for 10, 15 years, right? It's time for me to get off it. Let me take the profits out of this business. And because I've held it so long, I done minimized the taxes on it. Let me get my money out of here and let me move it over here. You feel me? Warren Buffett said it before. He said, I should have been sold Kraft Heinz in 2014. I should have sold Coke in 2000, but I had it for so long, right? There's no growth done. Now we just holding on it for the dividend, right? That's cool. We can do that, right? But we can take some of that. Okay, cool. I've been holding on to this company for 15, 20 years. I don't really see no growth in it no more. The dividend good. Let me take some skim off the top. Let me take some food off the table. Let me take this money and put it in an up and coming business who I see flourishing, right? This your Zoom, this your Beyond Meats, this your Ubers, this your Lyfts, right? These your companies that you see that shit's in the game. This your Data Dogs, this your Crown Castle, right? That's why they teach us to be workers for the company. 100%. 100%. You feel me? Because as the world grows, businesses are gonna shrink. Some people gonna get weeded out. You gotta go. You ain't keeping up with time. Xerox, Kodak, you ain't keeping up with time. Blockbuster, you ain't keeping up with the times. You gotta go. At one time, Sears was the greatest business in America. But yeah, $2 stock. They ain't even on the market no more. Got delisted, right? So the great thing about us being investors is we start understanding it, right? Exactly, Queen. We not stock investors. We businesses, right? We business investors. So that's good. You and I both know the future will not be the same. And listen, you and I both know that the future will not be an exact replica of the past. Still, it's useful to study the past to gain a broad sense of these recurring patterns. As saying goes, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So what do we learn from more than a century of financial history? We learn that bear markets are likely to continue happening every few years, whether we like it or not. And as I said before, winter is coming, so we better get used to it and be prepared. So that was dope, man. That was dope. So what I'm going to do right here, I think we go into chapter 3. I don't want to keep going too far. We'll go into chapter 3. We'll stop right there. That's chapter 2 still. We'll stop right there. Chapter 2. I know we got into some things, you know what I'm saying? It's all love. I know listen, I'm telling you, I love the book club more than anything. I ain't gonna lie. This is my favorite thing, right? Because I could talk about this shit all the time. We're gonna stop at chapter 2. We'll do chapters to catch up. I already read chapter 3, so we'll do 3 through 6. So we'll do 4, 5, and 6 when we come back. We'll do 4, 5. We'll do a recap of chapter 3, and then we'll do 4, 5, and 6. So because we extended a little long, we'll come back May the what is this? May the 5th is what? Cinco de Mayo is May the 5th. And y'all gonna be trying to get drunk somewhere. So let's come in. So I'll give it 2 weeks. So let's come back May the 4th. So May the 4th we'll come back May the 4th. I'll get a time for it, but May the 4th we'll do 4, 5, and 6. Starting that book this week, just finished the other book club. Righteous. So let's come back. Let me write that down. I'll tap my assistant and let her know this. Book club review chapter 3. But we'll do 4 through 6. Right. I think it'll be in the group. Yeah. We should be all pointed right in. I don't know. They just extended it. Can you put an event again in the group? Yeah, we'll get Baker to do that. He always do that. That's my guy. So we'll do it as we'll come back May the 4th. We'll come back May the 4th and we'll do 4 through 6 and then we'll recap Cinco de Staco. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do chapters 4 through 6 and then we'll recap chapter 3. Appreciate you all tapping in. I want y'all to do me a favor if y'all don't mind. A couple people, not everybody, just a couple people DM me on Instagram and just tell me what y'all got out of the book, especially if it's your first time. Just, tell me what you got out of tell me what you got out of this. And then post it in a group. In a group, it's good to say if it's your first time in a group. Let people know that the live is going to be there in the group so y'all can overgo it again. So I just want to tell y'all I appreciate y'all for the group. I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I have a post for y'all tomorrow in the group. So y'all be easy, man. Y'all have a good night, man. I'm about to go eat, man. I love y'all. You hear me?